I'm used to Stanley Nyarungita. It's a Tuesday, so giving you tips on how to save and, well, increase your wallet, basically. And this particular morning, as much as I had always escaped business class, I think really this particular morning, itabidi tuongele and get into a business class because we even have a whole board here. But we'll be getting into that later. Allow me to introduce the guests. Sharpest of minds, really. Ruth Kinyanjui, an economist. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
I'm pretty sure it's not too late to say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
And Tinega Damasen, not a new face to this whole panel once more. The chair of Gikomba Traders Association. Watu Giko shonandelaje?
Uko sawa.
Uko fresh?
Tunashukuru God. We keep on pushing.
You know, for us, we always say January is the longest. I remember when you were starting, you were like, bado kuna Monday ingine, Tuesday na Wednesday.
No. Trust me, January is always the best month for us.
For you guys, January is the best?
Yes, perhaps you. But on our side as businessmen or small scale traders, we don't have that harshness in terms of transaction, trading. But when it comes to the next month, February, we always see ghosts.
Yeah, do you agree?
I agree if they do proper planning, because it's just to know your cycle and how to deal with that. And clearly the way he said that December people normally make abnormal profits. So that way they can be able to spread in the first quarter, especially business people, but not for everyone. Mwenye amejipanga. Yeah. And
speaking of mwenye amejipanga, according to Statista, back in 2022, about 15.9 million people in informal, conditions of employment. So this is about 83% of people who are employed in the country. So this really shows you that this conversation transcends into a huge percentage ya watu uko nje. When we, the common terms utasikia, msewa boda, mtu wa mama mboga, mtu wa mjengo, we'll be getting to know the practicality of how they can actually save, via their daily wages, what they get from hand to mouth. And this particular morning, we're asking you, which is the best way to save for those earning on a daily income? Which is the best way to save for those earning on a daily income? We'll be getting your feedback. Facebook, TV47 KE, on Twitter, or rather X at TV47 News. But I think we can really start from there. Which is the best way for someone? Because others might say, well, I'm getting today. I'm sure leo nimeenda mjengo, nimepiga plaster, nitapata pesa. Kama ni 12 so, kama ni thou, nitapata do leo. So that's Monday until Friday. They're pretty sure. So maybe the whole idea of saving might escape them. Like, well, I'm sure I'll get money, so I don't really have to save right now. What do you make up of that?
I'll say it in two ways. First, saving is something intentional, something you decide. It's a decision, it's a discipline. And if you know, discipline is not something that is very easy, because it's difficult. It's deciding that people are doing this, but I'll do this. So the pain of discipline also sometimes is not easy for many people. Secondly, if you look at our society, and especially in Kenya, and more so in Nairobi, people really like comparing each other. What is the other person doing? What is this other person? And then you find like people, or everyone want to compete with the other in terms of sherehe nini, things that you want to do, then at the expense of forgetting now the things that matters to you most. However, for those people who have intentionally decided that they want to be able to save. And recently I came to, recently I met a mama mboga. And what really surprised me that they normally do some saving in something in one of the apps in M-Pesa. Every day they put 100 bob, 200 bob every day, and that becomes their saving. So saving is intentional. There are those ones who normally put a piggy bank or something like a piggy bank or whatever kind of a thing, then they put that every day. So what I'm saying is is that intentionality, your intentionality, it boils down deep to the person who you are, and if you're not really deviated to do what other people are doing. That way also aligns to some simple things that people usually do in the beginning of the year. And for example, right now people have put down resolution and they have said this is what they want to achieve. But one thing that they normally, maybe many people don't follow up, is now the incremental small steps that are called mission, that you do every day to ensure that what you've decided to do, you'll do. If you do not do that, then that's why you see 3 months down the line, 6 months, the things you set out to do, you've not still done, because you did not define the small things that you're going to do so that you can be able to achieve your goal. So saving is a discipline and also an intention that you have to decide. And also when you're focused, it means that you're not going to be deviated by things that other people are doing around you. Then you're going to be focused. I want to just mention something very small when it comes to objective, something that is normally taught in a business class when it's called to an objective. When you have an objective, there is also something called limitations. Limitations are things that will tell you that I'm not supposed to do this. And those limitations will not allow you to save. So you have to, it's like the way an aeroplane is going. There's so much wind, but it is you to decide. Beyond the winds, you're still going to go ahead.
All right. Tinega,
I'll a bit come in. Sorry if I may.
Sure.
I'm thinking of to handle or to share this discussion into two. I'm a groundman. We deal with the daily income. We are hand to mouth. But if you see, this one it can be separated into two. For example, I and my employee. I can plan to save, and I can manage to save because I have the capital, standing capital. But now here we have somebody or some people who earns on their daily income, on that lowest ground, they earn perhaps 300 shillings a day. According to our current economy, we have a lot of stuffs which prices have escalated. Things are very much abnormal. The person cannot afford her transportation on a daily basis, cannot support her rent or his rent, cannot support food, because the employer will not increase due to the pressure on the importation tax. On the other hand, the so-called county financial bill that was passed, it really pushed a lot of pressure to us, the lower people. So if the little amount that you could even add, or the employer could add, I'm talking of somebody who is operating in a small food kiosk, somebody who is selling tomato on the ground, akona yule mtu wa kumbebea that nyanya. You see, saving, many people may wish to save, but what are they are going to save? Even something to cater for their daily, fully basic commodities. The
whole daily spending.
It cannot be met. Yeah. So we live on a negative daily basis. That's why if you do a good look into our social life, you'll see many people struggling with ulcers because they skip number of meals. They are adjusting to feed. So if you go to the other side of our side, you will see the little that we used to save initially, we've squeezed it. We have the mission.
So roughly,
like she's saying,
let's say back in
we have a plan.
Let's say back in around 2019.
Yes.
Let's say before the whole COVID came, how much for mtu wa Gikomba umeenda ukachukua camera and everything ukauza at the end of the day, how much, or rather, let's say at the end of the week, how much will you save comparing to right now?
We used to save around 10 to 15,000
per week.
Per week.
Right
10
now.
to 15,000. Right now is crazy. You might not even save anything.
Nothing.
You might not even save anything. Because the people who used to buy from Gikomba, now the dynamics has changed. Let me give you this a whole scenario. We didn't have number of hawkers in town. We didn't have number of online marketing. We didn't have number of deliveries. So people can operate from the keyboard home and sell to Suzy. Somebody like I in Gikomba, we used to receive number of people coming to market, so number of transactions were being made. Now things have changed. The commodities are just at a doorstep. So savings from my end, the income that I used to get is becoming lower because we have number of people like you during the COVID walikuwa retrenched, walipunguzwa kazi, wengine wakanyongwa mshahara. So ile expenditure yenye tulikuwa nayo, ile power ya buy goods and it reduced.
Okay.
So currently as we speak, COVID brought so many people to business. That's the so-called mtumba. I remember the last research that we did. It was about 10 million people are directly in touch with or contactive in Tumba. So you can see it is a huge. Now, the people who are in different companies, like your company, perhaps people were slashed off. Different companies, number of companies have closed due to number of economical challenge. Where are they going to? They're not going to die. They are coming to the business. Now, see the taxation of second-hand goods have been increased. The petroleum shooting. So you can see everything is being pinned on that last result of a cloth.
And thereby reducing the fact that one can actually save.
Yes.
Let's listen to what Kenyans are actually saying, and we'll begin with Naivasha in Nakuru County, just to understand what they're actually saying and their reasons. Are they actually saving? And if they are actually saving, how are they doing this? Let's take a look.
Kwa majina ni Grace. Mimi ni mkaaji wa Naivasha. Mimi kazi yangu ni kukata mboga kama mnavyoona. Na kwa saizi uchumi iko juu sana. Mimi acha niseme mbeleni nilikuwa na save. Lakini kwa saizi tunapata tu chakula peke yake. Lakini mambo na kusave hatupati. Maisha imekuwa ngumu sana, lakini tunaomba tu Mungu kutakuwa kuzuri. But tunaomba hata serikali kama ushuru zingine watuondolee. Ndio at least tuweze kupata chakula na ya kusave.
Mimi naitwa Jimmy, ni msee wa boda hapa Rainbow. Kuna wakati nilikuwa nimefungua account hapa AICK. Nilikuwa nafaa ni save 50 bob, lakini mpaka saa hii si save hata bao. Sasa hakuna kitu na save. Account iko dormant.
Naitwa Moses, mimi ni mkazi wa hapa Naivasha. Saa hii maisha imekuwa ngumu kidogo, kusave hatuwezi save. Kwa sababu saa hii kazi yenye tunafanya ni hand to mouth. Usipofanya huwezi kula na huwezi lala. But hapo awali, kabla ya the current government, we used to save anyway. Kwa sababu we used to save at least ungeweka 250 per day. Ama ukimultiply hiyo kwa wiki utajua ni pesa ngapi, kwa mwezi utajua ni pesa ngapi. At least, but the current situation, we cannot do that. It doesn't allow.
Jina ni Naomi Wairimo na nilikuwa na save bereni, lakini saa hii kazi ni baya sana. Ni kubaya, kumenyesha sana na saa hii kumeharibika juu hata chakula haionekani. Zenye tunanunua zinaharibika na mvua, kwa hivyo hatu save. Zamani kulikuwa kuzuri, nilikuwa na save 400 kila siku.
Majina yangu ni John Bogwa. Saa hii hakuna kitu ya kusave kwa sababu kuko na masida mingi na uchumi uko chini sana. Lakini bereni nilikuwa nikisave kila siku 200. Lakini saa hii hakuna kitu tuna save.
Majina yangu ni Agri Ongaro, kaaji wa Naivasha, nafanya job huku. Saa hii bana kusave hatuna chochote. Kitambo nilikuwa na save. At least I had a salary per month. I could put aside 5k for saving. But now yote inatumika, uchumi umetukaza. This month as we talk, electricity bill yangu ilitoka 1,000 to 2,500. That takes what I used to save away from me. So that is how it is now. Very, very low. Hakuna savings.
Mimi naitwa Tom. Mimi nafanya biashara hapa. But unakuta kwa siku nilikuwa na save 300. Sasa hizi na save 50 bob. So biashara imerudi chini. Maisha ni ngumu. So tunaomba serikali itusaidie hapa.
Naitwa Peter Gedenji, mimi ni mkaaji wa hapa Naivasha Nimekaa miaka mingi nikifanya hii biashara ya kuuza hii malimali ya kutoka Kinangop, lakini saa hii mambo ni mabaya. Ukweli ni kwamba nilikuwa na save, lakini saa hii hata tumesikiria tumbo kwa mikono ili tugojee tuone kama hata tutapewa basari ili watoto wetu waendelee kusoma. Isipokuwa ni hivyo, wengine watarudi tu nyumbani, tukae na wao tu.
Na ni mudhani kulingana na vile maisha iko, kusave ni gumu. Chukua saa hizi unaweza pata umepata pesa, lakini mahitaji yenye iko haitoshi. Hiyo pesa unapata haitoshi, so saving inakuwa gumu sana.
That is a sample of what Nakuru residents are saying, and specifically in Naivasha, from the whole informal form of employment, from the wholesale retail, that particular mama mboga, from transport to boda boda huko, to construction, pia manufacturing, to plumbing, to MJ. The gentleman before, now the lady who spoke finally, saying mkono iko kwa, nashikilia mkono kwa tumbo. And this largely speaks about, I mean, they're actually talking about what you're alluding to before. Kitambo, mambo ingekuwa mzuri, mtu angesave, lakini sahi imekuwa ngumu kidogo. But then, at the end of the day, as you're saying, discipline has to be there. Is it the fact that now the culture is dimming? Maybe before the culture was there to actually save, or rather, has the culture ever been there in the society to actually save?
Thank you so much. I think I look at it first in also two ways. One of the things that you'll notice with Kenya, there is a lot of resilience even when it comes to earning. Whether there is a problem, whether the economy is not so good, whether things are bad, Kenyans will still go out and look for their income. And if you look at Kenyans, actually, most of the time, the issue is not the income and dispensable income. Somebody will still work hard to ensure they maintain their standards of living, and they will still to fed for their children and to meet their basic needs. One of the things that he mentioned is that people will always try to fit in even when things are so bad. They have a mechanism to adjust in a way that they'll be able to be still fine. But one of the things that I've noticed, especially when it comes to the societal issues, is that and even our society, even in Kenya, the saving culture is not so much there. People want to use everything they have, whether it's for business, whether it's by reinvesting it back. But saving is not one. It's not among. Actually, and even if you look at the budgeting process, even personal budgeting process, you'll see saving goes after most of the expenditures How you classify your expenditures between basic or the main ones that needs to be taken care of also is it's very discretionary actually, meaning that it's what a person it is depending on a person to person. What is basic to you might not be basic to me. I can adjust that. So you find that saving is always eaten into because of the discretionary personal preferences. So, and if people can be able to look into that with a mind of saving at the back of the mind, just the way in December people will always talk of school fees in January, meaning that they need to put that as a saving. But the reason why they are putting it as a saving is because they know school fees will be needed. And
that point, Tinega, because you have, let's say, a 20-year-old, into business, hapo gikosh, and as they always say, necessity is the mother of invention. He knows he's not married, hana watoi, anaishi kwa let's say bed sitter. For them, saving it's not priority because okay, maybe sahi sina need ya kusave. Unlike as she puts it, probably now for a guy who knows they have maybe 2 kids, have a wife, so have to save because I need school fees, blah 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 blah. Around Gikomba, do you get this?
Let me put into first. I will agree with my sister, whatever she's saying, that in our tradition, the saving is not part of us. This generation. During our grandparents, they used to save food for future, but they did not pass it on to us. If you come to the so-called the current youth, the youth who were born perhaps 2000. They call themselves .coms. Because nowadays, that generation calling itself .coms, currently they call themselves Generation Z.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong. They have, we have different approach when it comes to basic needs, when it comes to how to approach life. Whatever they used to do, they spend a lot on leisure, or the so-called entertainment. They do a lot of that. But the generation that was the 90s and 80s thinks a lot on how tomorrow will be. Because a bit we were pinched by our parents, a bit. We did not inherit everything that they used to do, but a bit. Now, if you tell me about a 20-year-old kid coming into the market to do business, there are so many. Some come, do photos, post online. They have no capital. We just allowed them to come instead of sitting home. During the time there were so many suicide, economical challenge. Don't sit at home, come. I have a shop, you don't have. You have a phone, a smartphone, you access Wi-Fi. Come do a photo, post, get a customer, I give you my price, you get your coins, and then life goes on. We support each other, like she's saying. We know how to swim in hardship. But now, whatever she gets, depending on, according to the current situation, economical situation, she will maybe today sell and make a living, make an earn of about 300 or 200 shillings. Go to a kiosk, a food vendor, how much will he or she remain with? Is equivalent to none. Remember, she needs bundle. The taxation on that bundle is too high. Remember, she needs transport to come and take these photos. I'm just giving you the lowest investment that you may even not think of.
And good thing is, we'll be breaking it down now practically. I tell you, today is a whole business class 101. But then, before we actually continue, on Facebook, Njogo Anthony says, joining a SACCO or SME groups. Eric Mochiemo says, discipline. And Rebel Karanja says, Africa Capital Fund. And just a reminder also, you can always call in live. You tell us if you probably in this whole sector, from the hand to mouth, what you do, you're paid that day. By the end of the week, unafanya MJ. Do you actually save? And if you do, how do you save? Talk to us. Can call in live 0795 045 864. But before that, tuvuke Kisii and listen to what the Kisii people are saying concerning this matter. Alafu turudi, we'll be getting now practically kwa hii screen yetu.
Mimi kwa majina ni Samuel Kene Orenge, mkazi wa mji wa Kisii. Kazi yangu ninayoifanya hapa ni kazi ya bodaboda. Mimi kwa biashara kwa sasa kwa hakika naona ni ngumu kwa kuwa wateja wengi wamekuwa wakitumia pesa kwa kupeleka wanafunzi shule. Sasa kwa saizi tuna strain sana, tunapata kitu kama siku za nyuma. Na upande wa mapato iko chini, lakini sasa kupitia hiyo kidogo tunayoipata ninafanya saving yangu kupitia merry-go-round. Nikishapata ninaweka kwa mshwari na nyingine ninaweka kwa M-Pesa. M-Pesa ndio sana ninayotumia na KCB mobile banking. Inanisaidia sana hiyo.
Ndio Kionyanja Mruwawe. Kazi yangu ni ya bodaboda nafanya. Na hii kazi yangu imenisaidia kuchunga familia yangu na kuchunga mifugo yangu, na uzuri hii kazi yangu naipenda tena sana. Kwa sababu hiyo kama sio hii kazi yangu huwezi kuchunga familia na mifugo yangu. Sawa. Savings yangu sifai savings kwa sababu niko na mifugo mingi na nafuga na yenye napata nanunua chakula ya kuku, chakula ya ng'ombe, watu wanakula. Hiyo ndio savings yangu sasa.
Kwa majina anaitwa Mokaya Dennis. Mimi ni mwana bodaboda katika hii mji wetu wa Kisii Town. Katika ile kazi tunafanya, ijapokuwa kuna maisha imekuwa ngumu kidogo, tuna save. Mimi nafanyanga kazi na save kila siku 200 na ile kidogo inabakia tunakuwa na merry-go-round ya chama, tunaweka pesa ile tumekuwa nayo kama 200 tena, alafu at the end of the day unapata uko na pesa. At least bodaboda inalipa na iko poa, na tunafundisha watoto nao na tunalipa rent na kila kitu tunafanya nayo. So nahimiza wana bodaboda wenzetu tusikule zote, tuweke ile kidogo tunapatanga. Hiyo tu.
Right, and as the gentleman there from Kisii is saying, usikule zote. And I mean, even the beauty for the boda people having those particular, circles, I said we'll be having this practically. I'll start with you, Tinega. Can cross over to our, our screens. The pen is there. Unaweza spam utupigie hesabu. So
ilikuwa kitambo sisi niandike.
So now we're getting back to the whole business class. So I think we'll start with from your own experience.
So here we write biashara, if I'm not wrong.
Yes. Tuone hata handwriting yako leo. Not bad.
Ni kitambo sana niandike. So basically,
so let's say tuanze hata na mtu wa Gikosh. Asubuhi mapema mnaendeanga kamera asubuhi sanga.
Very early in the morning, around
4 a.m.
by 6 tuko kwa soko.
By 6 tuko kwa soko. So tuanze.
We don't sleep.
So okay, stock unabaya ngapi?
Okay, stock ainaga actual amount. It depends on what you get, because it's like ile burungu imefungwa. So ndani you might get 2, you might get 3, you might get 10, so it's a gamble. Ni kama mwenye ana bet.
So tupatie hypothetically ya mtu amepata tuseme ya 10, tuseme anauzanga matunda.
Okay, tuseme umeingia soko, una target ya kununua nguo, umefika umepata stock like umebuy like 10 Gs stock. This one like per piece will go, mtu wa kamera atakuuzia na 400 shillings per piece. Okay? Na huyu akishanunua hizi 400 per piece, yeye anaenda kuongeza 100 just a step. Kuna kitu inaitwa kuchota. Kuna klasi nyingine inaitwa kuchotesha.
So for audience who are watching us from
kuchotesha is like this person is going to get a creme de la creme. After this one is a first class. Yeye anachukua, ana risk. But this guy here ana limit risk. For example, you had if you do this one, it gives you like 20 something pieces, sio? Huyu jamaa akikuja atachukua almost 4 to 5 pieces. Yeye anachukua cream de la cream. No dent, no damage, no what. So he will buy between 500 shillings to 700 from this person here. Sasa yeye akienda kuuza, hasa ndo unasikia anauza, anakuja kuuzia town, anaenda kuuzia Lavington, anaenda kuuzia Westlands. So utakuta one pant for this person, mwenye sasa tunakuwa concerned na yeye sana ni huyu.
Yes.
Because so far ame make profit ya 500 shillings. Because tumeassume amemuuzia na 500. Na
for the 4 to 5 pieces.
Yeah, for this is
for a piece.
Yeah, per piece. Out of 20 amemuuzia huyu. Or we get back to, let's start. Okay? Let's start it on.
Tuanze vizuri ndio sasa ni hesabu kama bedhe can actually side hustle nikitoka hapa niingie Gikosh.
Okay, hapo ukiingia Gikosh kuna mtu anakula camera they are very selected. Sio kila mtu anakula camera because the way your market, huyu mtu wa camera inaitwa camera but not the one that is capturing this event.
Jones.
Sio jamaa.
Camera person wetu Jones.
So hii camera,
najua hii maneno vizuri.
Hii camera iko na watu specific. A whole bell mzima ina cost 28,000 to 32K. Ina contain around 200 pieces. 2 200 and something.
Okay, for this, is it based on the quantity yenye iko ama ni quality ya?
Ziko na two types. Kuna grade 1 na grade 2. But zote ziko na package almost the same. Tunazungumzia dusura. Hapa tunazungumzia dusura. Hapa tunazungumzia dusura. The one that comes from China. Zile kubwa 100 kg. So we talk about 200 pieces and plus. But not lower than that. 200 and something. The cost for the first grade ina cost this to this. The second bell or second grade bell zinatoka around 20 to 24 K.
This has how many pieces?
The same pieces. We are talking of the same size, different quality. The first grade is 28 to 30. The second grade is 20 to 24,000. Now, while bell imewekwa kwa meza, now umekuja kukula kamera. You have a target. Because if you don't have a target, this man will not be raised. Or this one will not be raised. So the cameraman lazima afikishe target fulani, ndio huyu mwenye anauza hapa baki akiuza nguo 200, 150, you know, hii pesa ifanye iweze kurudi, ikichomeka kidogo ama itoke na profit.
So average, let's say kama nauza mahali kama let's say pata Kiembu Road nini, target yangu inafaa ikuwe ngapi ndio nijue by the way neza at the end of the week neza kupata
at least out of this vile wanapanga nguo utakuta kuna zile nguo utapangiwa na 400, kuna zile nguo utapangiwa na 300, na kuna zile nguo utapangiwa na 200. Sawa? Hapa lazima hizi nguo, whether you like it or not as a cameraman, lazima, the word lazima is in capital, lazima zisikue less than 10. Because already hapa tunazungumzia 4,000. Now we are trying to recover this money. Tumenunua hiyo kibulk, tunajaribu kurecover hii. Now hapa hii zikuwe 15 pieces. 15 pieces, sorry. Lazima zikuwe 15 pieces. Now here you need something like 20 to 30 pieces.
Hizo za 8 so.
Hizi za 200.
Oh, 200. Okay.
20 to 30 pieces.
30,
So this one will give you around, this is about 10K, 4K.
Okay.
4K. Sorry. Acha niziandike hivyo.
Zatoa tu hiyo, uandike hiyo.
4K. This one is about 45.
Yes. Mwalimu wa maths niko sawa. I'm still good.
This one is about 6 Gs.
Yes.
If you go for the highest number of 3, this is 6K. So ukifanya hiyo hesabu
85
na kupatia no, this is 5. This is 14. 00 if I'm not wrong. Wenye mlifanya hesabu mimi sikufanya.
Kinyenjui ni kama hii hesabu
na nasema nataka kumuuliza
Yes.
hizo 14,000 ni per day.
Hii sasa hii ni sell per day. At that particular bell imefunguliwa.
Yes.
Sasa huyu ni mtu mmoja wa kamera, huyu mtu huyu. We are talking of this person here. Amemwachia trader ambaye amenunua bell yake kwa wholesale, ameileta kwa kibanda. Sasa huyu ndiye anaanzisha kazi.
So ana target apate
hii sasa akifungua hii, our target money is here. This is invested capital. This is now the capital. This is invested capital here. So ukiwa umeinvest hii capital, mtu wa kwanza mwenye amefungua hiyo bell anakupatia hii pesa or slightly lower. Yani akienda to the poorest akupatie 10K out of this. So unaona burden ya hii inaenda ikifanya nini?
Pungua.
Kumbuka if you do total of these pieces here, about 10, 15, 20 to 30 pieces. This one is about 25. This is about 55 pieces out of 200 pieces. So the person of the commodity amebakisha around 140 pieces. So 140 pieces kumbuka zinashuka to 100 bob. So already akona 14,000. Kama ataziuza 100 shillings, akona 14,000. So profit yake hapa kama amenunua ibel 28, profit yake hapa per day ni 500.
Right.
Are you seeing it? Ama iflow. Are you seeing it? If you do this calculation, we give you 14,500. Now, if minus, hii hesabu inakupatia 14,000 because amebaki na 140 pieces. So 140 pieces automatically, because ni zile grade ya chini, ataziuza 100 shillings. So 100 shillings
ile bei jioni,
ile imeenda yule mwenye anataka the lowest mwananchi atapata hii hesabu 14,000. So 14,000 ukiweka na 14,500 ile mtu wa kamera alimwachia, it gives you 28,000 ambayo ndio invested capital on that particular day. So faida yake inakuwa ni shilingi ngapi? 500. Now out of 500, now can we now balance this person to save with the 500?
So even before you get into this, Ruth, even as a business advisor, does this make sense to you?
It does make sense actually, because 500 per day, we are looking at that person getting how much, say, in a month. Yeah. So they are roughly getting a profit of, say, around 15,000. 15,000, then how then do they fit in fast to using the 500 as expenditure for the day? Maybe there is transport, maybe there is border, maybe there is meals, and then you remain with something. Of course, somebody said in one of those, in Kisii, assuming that you can maybe even spend those 200 or 250 and remain with 250 so that to beat other basic commodities at the end of the month. So for anyone earning 500, it's still a lot of money. And it means you're not hungry. And it means that you're feeding for yourself. And it means if it's in a business case related like this, you're better off maybe even say from an employed person who is earning 15,000.
So this theoretically, let's say this is Monday to let's say hadi Sato, Sunday or relax.
Sunday wako home.
Just a reminder to you also, if you're also in this particular trade, you can tell us your tips and tricks. How do you do this? Hesabu yako inafikanga hadi unapiga hapo punch number 500. 0795045864 is the number to call in live. 2047 is the SMS number. I'll be reading this later on. TV47 KE on Facebook. You can talk to us. Tukiendelea. Kinyejo pia nitakuwa nakuita hapo tuone handwriting yako, tuone pia venye how good of a lecturer you can really be. So this ni per day. Tuingie into now savings, the possibility of this. So this is one day.
Yep.
Okay.
This is one day. This is per day. This is tuseme Monday. Hii profit yake ni 500. Now, huyu mtu tuna assume that transportation yake he spends like 100 shillings.
Per day, tuseme chwani kuenda. Okay.
Tuna assume 50. Anabaki na so ine. Na tuseme ako na responsibility ya food. Tumpatie the rest of the expense per day, asubuhi, mchana na usiku. Let's allow him to spend like 300.
Okay.
So probably atabaki na kutakuwa hapa na 100 shillings. If possible. Because most of the time, initially, this used to work. Somebody angebakisha 100 ama 200. But kulingana na current economy, this one might be below the belt. Because if you see the price of bread, if you see the price of milk, if you see the price of unga, if you see the price of rice, leave alone all this, electricity, gas, the basic one that this person is going to face after having this 500, he or she might be on the negative side.
Yeah. So, okay, focus at na Monday peke, the kind of tips and tricks. So, Kenjo, let's say amebaki na hiyo, ameweka 300 ya food, and let's say, so hypothetically, uni the 20-year-old we are talking about, anafanya kazi Gikosh. What are the tips and tricks za them spending less than this 300 bob when it comes to the kind of food?
Oh, yeah. So one of the things that for safe now, this is a Gikomba trader. They're just next to Marikiti. Of course, the options for food can be a bit better. And when I look at the 300 allocation, I think it's really on the higher side for stomach. It means ameshakula mpaka mbegu, you know. So it's a bit much on the higher side.
Okay, kindly, let's break it.
Yeah.
300.
Yeah.
Let's break it so that I can see. Where is this car?
Okay, tunaweza futa on one side.
I think as we break it, assuming that, for example, if you buy one bread, if you want to buy bread, you will not eat. No, you not eat the whole of it in one.
No,
day.
we are talking of somebody. Let's discuss of someone without a kid, a youth. That is a 20-year-old.
Yes.
500 can do.
Yes.
So let's start with breakfast, for example.
Yes.
Okay.
This is 500. So we have like a breakfast.
Yes.
Let's calculate on the breakfast. How much will this person spend?
So let's say sweet potatoes, for example.
So sweet potatoes and a cup of tea.
Currently in the market, sweet potato a piece is 50 shillings.
Yes.
Plus milk.
Yes.
How much is milk?
60.
60.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is breakfast.
Yeah.
So breakfast. So naambia
this one will give us
anaweza kula hata mandazi moja.
Mandazi moja.
Sawa tu.
It's okay. Unajua to eat healthy, you will just calculate of this one.
So hiyo ni breakfast.
Yes. Now let's go for lunch.
Madodo and chapati.
Madodo and chapati, that is roughly one chapati, that is roughly 80 bob to 100 shillings.
One chapati?
Yes, mandondo.
Chapo beans.
Both of them, yes?
Oh, both of them,
okay,
yes.
Yeah.
100 shillings.
Okay.
This is 100 shillings. Chapo, stroke, dondo. Now we are going for usiku.
Ugali, of course.
Ugali na sukuma na cabbage.
Yes.
Will you give us how much?
Well, I will look for that as 100 as well.
100 shillings.
But then hypothetically, if alikuwa na stock ya unga.
Exactly.
Alikuwa na stock ya unga kwa nyumba. So this now those tips and tricks.
Okay.
And also we will carrying breakfast and lunch from home as well.
Tutajaribu tuziweke zote kwa bracket.
Yeah.
If I put, I think my calculation were about 300 per day.
Yes, for food.
So this is 310. Now I had everything calculated for. I had thought of this. This person akona gas kwa nyumba, kila kitu. Now budget yake hata kama atakuwa ametoka heaven, per day atatumia hii. Because if you see the price of gas is how much? See the price of sukari, see the price of majani, see the price of the cooking oil and put them in one basket. Okay? That shopping will go not less than around, out of is 15,000, the shopping per month will go about 10,000 for one person. Hiyo ndio itampush. Ukija kuzi break down utakuta per day huyu mtu anatumia hii pesa.
So if it is 10,000, all right, I'm being told that we do have a phone call. Kindly tell us, unatupigia simu ukiwa wapi, and are you actually in the whole informal sector? What is your contribution kwa hii conversation yetu leo?
Okay, my contribution is
punguza kindly, naomba upunguze sauti ya TV alafu uanze na jina, unatupigia ukiwa wapi na contribution yako.
Okay, no problem.
All right, I think tunajaribu kupata mwingine, but then 0795045864 ndio namba ya kutupigia simu. When you call us, kindly punguza volume ya TV. Bado utakuna mute, alafu give us your name, where you calling us from, and your contribution to this particular conversation. Tuendelee na hii breakdown, but then now the fact that tumeingia into even the whole monthly, I'd like to invite Kenjui hapa. as an economist. Sijui sasa tuvuke on this other side. Tuvuke hapa sasa. Yes.
Sawa.
Sasa ikuwe tag.
Acha to switch.
Ndio hiyo bas. Because
already we have it.
Because we got the figure was about 500 bob.
Yeah.
For someone.
You can push it to the other side.
In yongine tunatumia. So let's work with this.
Yes.
Reminds me back in the day ukiitwa na mwalimu ufute ubao you are
duster.
Ulikuwa deep state. As long as you are the timekeeper na mtu kufuta. You're
na mtu wa bela.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Can we take the call? All right, let's continue. Remember, you can always call in live for this particular conversation. So the figure is 500 bob.
Yeah.
Yenye ile roughly yenye angepata for a day.
Yeah.
For someone, let's say in Gikomba.
Yeah.
In a month to calculate all that. So let's work it out.
Yeah.
For someone who has the daily wages, roughly yenye atapata let's say 500, that they can actually try and save and also ni balance here. Should I save this? Hii nitumie ya food.
Okay.
So break it down for us. How much? And the tips and tricks that they can use instead. All right. So even as you prepare that, your thoughts.
Yeah.
Let's tuchukue a call from Kileleshwa. Give us your name kindly. Mute TV alafu tuambie your contribution to this conversation.
My name is
Omar.
Evan.
Yes, I can hear you. Continue.
Okay, me with the daily earnings and wages or whatever. Kenyans are tired.
Okay,
I'm saying that Kenyans are tired.
Okay.
Yes, but that chick on your left is very pretty.
All right. Are you in any? Are you employed? Ama uko?
I'm watching your live.
Sorry.
I'm watching your live.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nauliza, are you currently uko employed ama yako ni self-employed employment?
Me, I'm self-employed.
So roughly for you, let's say per day unaweza pata kama ngapi?
Okay, I won't talk about that.
Okay.
I'm a controversial businessman.
Okay, asante sana from Kileleshwa, that one.
Yes.
Well, asante sana. A guy from Kileleshwa complimenting you, saying that Kenyans are tired also.
Yeah.
I see you also, you have that written. You can continue.
Yeah. So I think first I'll start with the tips. Yeah. What can you be able to do? Yeah. So the first thing on the tip is try to increase. We'll use the same analogy from Tinega. So if you are having 500 at the end of the day with expenditures of 300 without including the 10 shillings and you're having to remain with 200, then there is transport of 100. Then the bottom line at the end of the day that is available for saving is 100 shilling. Then there are other tips that you can use to just ensure that you balance these maths. Yeah? First, we are making an assumption as a 20-year-old, tuseme Tinega akona 20-year-old nephew anakaa na yeye, so halipi rent.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't even include that.
Yeah. So this disposable income is available to him for use. Yeah. But now, say in 1 year after being hosted by Tinega, he needs to move out. Then he needs to know how to increase his income from the current 500 that he's receiving daily to more to that. How can he be able to do that? There is one term that young people are using, kusema kujituma. Ajitume.
To chase the bag.
Yes, to chase the bag. Yeah. To be able to work better with his client, to apply some soft skills in a way that you can be able to serve your customer better, to use your mobile phone.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm being told that tuende Kangware. Gilbert from Kangware. Habari asubuhi. What is your contribution to this conversation?
Yes, habari asubuhi. K2447. Ningependa kuchangia hivi.
Okay.
Huyo mzee mwenye amefanya hiyo breakdown ya kwanza, nimependezwa nayo kabisa. Tena amejaribu kuminimize kabisa. Sababu for one person, whether you want or not, ndio ufanye shopping ya kukupush kidogo, lazima utatumia kama 10,000. Ndio hapo katikati usikuje kuishiwa na mafuta. But daily breakfast and whatever. Hata amejaribu kufinya sana, lakini itapita 300. So he tried bila wanaweza, yani usifungue tumbo sana. Because kama utanunua tu, tuseme unataka ununue kama sweet potato, ununue maziwa, yani lazima itabiti hapo 300. And out of 500 maybe utakuja tu kubakisha kama maybe you can save 100 shillings. So nimekubaliana na yeye kabisa.
Gilbert, wacha nikuulize, umeajiriwa na mtu ama uko na kazi yako binafsi, na labda at the end of the day unapata ngapi?
Nimeajiriwa. Nimeajiriwa.
Asante Gilbert from Kangwala.
Yes.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
I mean, he definitely, agrees, and basically Tinega anasema you're quite a good lecturer. Kama unafaa ukitoka Gikomba uingie lecture room.
No, you only gave me a 20-year. So and I'm trying to see that this 20-year-old boy or girl has a capital of 28,000 or about, and selling mtumba in my business where I come from. That is the margin that the person can get. But it can turn. This capital, this invested capital, sometime it might not get out of. You might get a loss. So as a parent or guardian or somebody, you still have you need to have what we call a boosted capital, something that is pending. At time, you might get beyond that 500. Not always.
So depending on the day.
Depending on depending on the commodity, on that bell. It might give you number of cameras, or it might give you lower, depending on the package, how they packed it from. I remember last year we complained a lot. Walikuwa the Chinese wale wanatuletea mzigo walikuwa wanatupakia nguo zingine chafu zimeraruka, so we complained a lot. And I will always call for the Kenya Bureau of Standard, at least to look into it. Because whatever is being shipped in sometimes is like they are trying to do what we call a dumping. It is not the quality that we are looking for. So if they change that, the Kenyan common small-scale trader will a bit get something to save.
Right, good stuff. Let's go to Charles wa Kericho. Habari asubuhi, what is your contribution to this conversation yetu ya leo?
Shukuru sana kwa kuingia kwanza kwa Studio TV 47. Na nimeangalia, unajua kuna vitu maybe huwa tunapata kumbe tunakuanga tuna spoil. So sometimes wakikufunza kitu unaona una learn something. So mtu kama mimi unajua ni umenifunza vitu ya kusaving hapo vitu mingi. Mimi ni mtu wa mjengo tu.
So Charles, ukiendelea per week unaweza pata ngapi yenye unaweza ona hii pesa wacha ni save, ingine niweke kando?
So unaona mimi per week napata 6k.
6k,
Hiyo ni 6k.
Okay. So hiyo 6k, let's say breakdown yako ukipiga budget unaweza ona let's say breakfast, lunch, nini hizo spending zote unaweza tumia how much per week?
Kwa sababu niko na watoi wawili. So ukipata mi kitu kama per week.
Endelea.
Per week inaweza kuwa kitu kama 1500 ama 2000 hapo hivyo.
1500 2000, okay.
Kwa sababu kuna vitu na nyima watoto bwana, sasa ni kubaya.
Inaeleweka ya Charles. Na una feel kama hiyo culture ya kusave, hiyo tabia kusave, watu wengi wako nayo kweli?
Hawana. Kwa sababu ukipata mimi mwenyewe saving yangu nisikuwa ninaisave. Nilikuwa nasema tu unajua kama sisi watu ya kujenga, unajua the end of the week unapata kitu kingine, lakini tangu tuingie 2023 imetukalia noma. So sasa mimi nilikuwa ni mtu wa ukulima, savings zangu zilikuwa ukulima sana nyumbani. So hiyo ndio imekuwa ikinisaidia kidogo.
Fundi ama ni mtu wa mkono?
Charles, swali ya mwisho, one of our guests anauliza hapa, kwa mjengo, when ni fundi ama when ni foreman?
Ameshatoka kwa line, I think. Because he prays.
All right, I think
the amount that is earning of 6K ni fundi.
Is high.
But mtu wa mkono cannot raise this amount.
So any deep state kwa
any deep state kwa mjengo.
And I love the fact that the perspective that Charles has brought on board in this conversation, because earlier on we were taking a look at hypothetically a Jonte mwenye 20-year-old living in let's say anakana anko yake nini, but then Charles ameleta a whole new conversation here of someone who has
a family.
A family of 2 children.
A family of 2 people. And also ameleta issue ya side hustle.
Oh yes.
Farming. So which means people are supplementing their income.
And now because you're talking about the tips now from both of you. So now for this kind of setup, how will they really at the end of the day? Because for Jonte angeangalia, me personally naweza jinyima. Savings zangu ni yake, kani credo, I can do this, si lazima hata nieke vitu kama hizo. But then for someone who has a family, when it comes to the discipline, sometimes inaza nyongo. Itabidi uone kama vile anasema watoto wengine wanataka lakini mwambie hapana. So how the kind of tips and tricks for this?
Okay, I think just to see, unaona sasa the young people are starting out, so they're having very disposable and also very little.
Later bidi nikukatize sana because the callers George from Mukuroini. Habari ya asubuhi, asante sana for calling us this morning. Nini contribution yako to this conversation ni gani? Umeajiriwa ama yako ni ile self employment?
Contribution yangu ni hii saving mnasema ya 100. Haiwezekani juu unaona hata mjesambu nini omo, sabuni, vitu kaa hizo. Unaona sasa na venye economy iko sasa, unaona mambo inaharibika. Sasa labda usave kitu kaa chwani hivyo. Juu pia mimi nafanyanga biashara ya kuuza mayai na smoky, lakini unaona bado hakuna venye inawezekana to save nini mingi.
So wewe per week unaweza pata umesave kama ngapi?
Mi per week na save chwani hivyo. Juu sasa unaona hadi lent vitu kaa hizo.
Asante sana George kutoka Mkuroini for calling us this particular morning. I mean, different callers are bringing in, different kind of perspectives. But then
I like the way it is flowing. Because now tumepata mtu wa mayai. That industry is very tricky because sahi tray ya mayai imeshort. Because initially tulikuwa tunanunua 280. Saizi inachezea around 500 and something. So ukikuja tena upande wa hizi plastic zenye wanabeba nazo ama kale kagari, gari yao ile wanatengeneza jua kali is about 3,000. So things have changed. I can feel this guy. Kusave 50 shillings, he's a hero.
Right.
And from Mukuroini actually.
So you can finalize on breaking it down before we get another caller.
Okay, so the tips is first, you can see how there is diversity from a young person and a person with family or somebody who has experience. Somebody who has experience, you can just tell their income has slightly gone up. Now we have moved from say 14,000, now we are going to say 24,000. And you can see they are constraining their family to between spending say 2,000 in a week. So akona disposable ya income ya 4,000 na bado unaona anafanya farming ya side hustle, meaning maybe labda the 4,000 that is coming from here anaiweka kwa farming ndio ikue ikirotate ikileta something. You understand? And one of the things actually for young people kujituma, getting more talent, getting more experience, getting you know, being there for business, maybe even working long hours to ensure maybe you can be able to sell a bale and a half. Instead of selling 1 bale per day, is it possible to sell a bale and a half maybe, so that this 500 can maybe go to 750, or maybe the way Tinega is saying that sometimes a bale can give you, you ensure you can be able to get a bale that gives you better, because this is the worst case scenario according to Tinega, but there is a moderate case scenario where you can get maybe 1,000 or maybe 1,500 depending on a bale to bale basis. And now a good day also will compensate for a bad day, then you are able to balance. So this 50 shillings then is able to now slightly increase. But one of the things is, of course, side hustle, doing things on the side, use of technology, especially for young people in selling, so that you can be able to increase your market share, so that you're not only selling to those who are walk-ins into your business.
So let me ask. Just to ask.
Yeah.
The last caller is eggs vendor.
Yes.
How will he do a side hustle?
So that's a good one, actually. That's a good one. The best way, actually, for example, I'm looking for an egg seller, and this egg seller has said they're from Mukoroni. First of all, I'll even start thinking, say, their positioning. Where have they positioned their business? Can they maybe be able to move it, say, for example, a person who sells eggs, say, in Gikomba market where Tinega is, and this one who is in Mukoroni, their market share is also not. Yeah, and then also something,
the population around there.
The population, of course, you market yourself to a place that there is more population, and there is nothing that is more marketable nowadays. Actually, this will supplement. Unaona ile chai tulisema chai hapa na nini? Chai hapa tukasema chai itakuja na sweet potatoes. Sasa utaona mtu ataingia kwa mayai pasua, which is even a better and even a cheaper option. So it will give you a bigger market share. And as you get market share, then you unaweza move kutoka kwa bucket then to something more.
Let's go to Thika and listen to Michael. Habari asubuhi and asante sana for calling us. Maoni yako ni gani leo?
Mimi naitwa Michael Aero. Sasa mimi nauzanga manguo. Nauzanga sweatpants.
Okay.
Nauzanga sweatpants na actually nimeona Vinyarasa amesema unaona ukiuza tuseme kama mimi nanunuanga nguo za Anchoni
kutoka okay,
na nanunua nguo za 150 uzia tao nauzanga so 3 per each.
So 3, so hiyo ni profit ya
50-50.
Okay, endelea.
Acha niseme kama fare natumianga around 250 fare. Halafu seme kama profit hivi narejenga kutoka around 7 pieces yenye na tough day.
Okay.
So ile kwenye iko ile in a good day unaonanga at least unaona at least unauza piece mbao hivi. Lakini ile siku mbaya kabisa yenye sijaikosa kuuza ni around 7 pieces. So nikinunua nguo na 150 mimi nauza na so 3.
Okay.
So around seme nanunuanga hiyo nguo na 150, halafu kuna ile kushonwa na 20 bob nini. Tao at least inapigwa hadi pasi napata nimetumia piece na tumia mbao. So nikifika tao na ile around 300. So na reach piece napata faida at least ya 130.
Okay.
So mimi najaribingi at least hizo piece 7. Unaona hapo nitakuwa na around 1k.
Yeah.
So hiyo ni profit. Kama nimehesabu pesa ya kazi na faida.
So out of hiyo utasave kama ngapi, let's say per day ama per week?
So per day mimi save around 300. Halafu ikibaki na hii around kitu 500. Sasa hii ndio pesa ya matumizi
Uko solo ama kuna mpoa kando na watoi ama wewe unajishughulikia peke yako?
Niko na mtoi mmoja.
Okay.
Can feel the calculation.
So nikisave hii 300.
Rent.
Nitabaki na hii 500. Na jaribu at least kuweka, unaona, at least hiyo fanya hivi kama ni pesa ya nyumba. Na jaribu at least kusave 10 per day, 10 bob.
Okay.
10 bob by the end of the month, nenda tu nikiadjust hiyo 10 bob. Hii inakonga pesa ya rent. Nyumba yenyewe ni ya 5k. So unapatanga kama ni rent. Hiyo 10 bob by the end of the month nitakuwa na 46k.
How much does it pay for rent?
So ile kitu nitaongezea around nitaongezea 400 hivi. Nakaa nyumba ya 5k.
Okay.
So unaona sasa hapa kuna 200 itabaki kando, 300 sorry.
Yeah.
So hii 300 sasa naweza spend 200 na familia yangu, alafu 100 ni pesa ya matumizi tu na isave. Maybe tunaenda out mahali kama Sunday hivi.
Aya, asante sana from Thika there. Asante sana for calling. Naona you've broken it down, and na feel hata Tinaga.
I feel this calculation.
Yeah.
I think this guy is very brilliant.
Yeah.
And the approach of life. No, I think my brothers and sisters who are watching this show should learn a lot from this guy.
Yeah.
Because if this brother can save, he has a target to save. At least if he has nothing, he's gone down, he will save 10
bob. Yeah.
So if things are good, he will save 100 shillings or 200. Something that is the minimum is 10 shillings. So at the end of the day, when it comes to end month, he will not strain for rent.
Yeah.
At the same time, it will not give him a hard time to take his family out. It will not give him hard time to feed his family. So you see how things are, Kenyans are planning themselves.
Yeah, and this brings the whole conversation. Before even you continue, people would say 10 bob ni kidogo sana, so unasevaje 10 bob? Because people would be like, apana save, let's say wacha ni save, let's say kama 500 ndio ni feel hii 500 imeenda kando, 500, because it'd be like at the end of the month 10 bob it might be kidogo, but
you are doing it.
Ikona impact.
And actually it's where we started earlier. It is what you have decided. That small discipline that today I didn't get much, so 10 bob, but tomorrow I got much, I put 100. And you see, as much as he's saving so much to consider rent, bado he's being left with extra to entertain his family and for other eventuality. So bado ako mbele. And it also goes back to what we said earlier. People will always fit. And as you fit in, also other small opportunity, present yourself, then you're able to increase your
capital investment. That is, you're growing, your business will grow, and the income will have to grow too.
But as you can see from him, discipline also has to really lead you to be able to increase this top line in terms of working hard. In terms of also getting other ways of selling. And we spoke earlier about the digital platform. You are able to sell to many people.
So a whole other now, because mtu tauliza msana watch anashanga, okay fine, the whole figure tulianza nayo about 28k uanze nayo. So for how long should you have had this your investment?
Okay, I had to choose to start from somewhere. But not all fall in that category. Like the last time I told you guys that
for the capital now.
Mimi nikianza biashara, I think nilianza na the smallest capital. Perhaps there's some people out there who started their business with a huge capital or small capital than mine. But me nikianza biashara, I started with the 20 shillings.
20 shillings?
Yes.
Hold that.
When was this? When was this?
I'm holding, I'll tell you.
Because I'm being told we need to cross over to Nakuru.
Well 20 shillings was a note. Not a coin.
Okay, let's cross over to Nakuru, where Chichi Josephine is, tupate maoni ya Kenya on the same. I mean, how do they really save when it comes to this particular matter for the whole informal sector? Chichi Josephine, over to you. Right, so even as we try to get hold of Chichi once more, ulianza na 20 bob, but ina bring up the whole conversation because I mean a number of people utasikia mtu anakuambia unachiki hii tray ya mayai mimi nilianzanga hii biashara na so I mean you really try to wrap up your mind on that, but then before
this is a reality of Kenyans.
Yes,
I started with
let's go to Nakuru where Chichi Josephine is. Chichi, good morning to you. What are the residents there saying and those in the whole informal sector and how they actually save and how they manage their wages daily and even weekly?
Yes, Stan, a very good morning to you. Quite a very interesting discussion there, but I tend to believe that the most challenging aspect that troubles everyone when it comes to probably anyone who is in business or rather getting salary is the aspect of saving money. Creating a considerable amount from salaries or maybe from wages really becomes a trick, and I think it requires that you be very consistent and you also be very disciplined. I am here with some of the Boda Boda members who will tell me what they do, more especially when it comes to they get their daily wages. How are they able to save this money, bearing in mind that they have to take care of their families. They also have to take care of what they probably the source of income comes from these particular Boda Bodas. So allow me get to talk to them and hear how do they go about savings. Nitatanguliza na wewe tunapozungumzia swala la kuweza kusave. Yes. Labda kuna wale ambao wanasema wako na salaries ambazo wanapata per month, wewe unapata zako kila siku. Yeah. Labda unawezaje ku make sure ati unagawanya zile ambazo unatumia na unagawanya zile ambazo unaweza kusave?
Majina ni Shadrack Ngugi. Mimi ndio chairman Shaba Board. Sisi tuko na sako ambayo tuliform last year. Tuna save 50 shillings a day. So kwa wiki tuna save kama kutoka Monday to Saturday, that is 300. 100 inaenda kwa welfare, 100 inabaki kwa savings. Ukisave for 3 months, kuna ile unaweza apply loan, unaweza apply pesa ya kulipa school fees, unaweza nunua insurance, unaweza peleka mtoto shule na hiyo savings yako inakusimamia.
Kwa hivyo unahakikisha kwamba kila wiki ama kila siku?
Kila siku. Kila siku ya.
Wakati ambapo labda haujapata 50.
50 yezi kosa. 50 yezi kosa. Unajua hata saa hii maisha vile imekuwa ngumu, 50 shillings ni pesa kidogo sana, na unapata hiyo ni saa hii tukibeba mtu kutoka Shaba mpaka town ya 100 bob. So ile pesa unapata ya kwanza asubuhi wewe unaweka 50 kando, unatuma kwa pay bill, unatuma kwa bank. Ina kunini.
Hiyo ni sako. Labda kuweza kujisevia wewe mwenyewe kwa banki yako. Unahisi uko na discipline ama no wonder uliingia kwa sako?
Discipline lazima ikuwe. Unajua mambo ya pesa pia lazima ukuwe na discipline juu pesa hakuna pesa mingi na hakuna pesa kidogo. Ni vile tu wewe unajipanga. Yeah.
Bwana Mwanda, naelewa pia wewe ni mwana boda boda. Labda nieleze kwa siku unapata pesa ngapi na labda unaweza kusave vipi? Je, uko na discipline ya kusave?
Asante. Kwa majina naitwa Mwanda Steven, msemaji wa bodaboda katika kaunti ya Nakuru. Mimi niko na vikundi mingi sana. So kitu ya kwanza lazima ujiwekee discipline. Niko na kikundi nalipa shilingi 500 kila siku. Niko na sako ambayo nalipa kwa wiki. Si chini ya shilingi 300. Niko na kikundi ingine nalipa shilingi 500 kila Jumamosi. Niko na kikundi ingine ninalipa shilingi 2000 kila mwisho wa mwezi. So discipline lazima ujiwekee ndio uweze kujisaidia. Apart from that pia niko na KCB online ambayo nimekuwa nikisave na napewa loan. Usipoenda katika kikundi yoyote hautaweza kujisaidia.
Kwa hivyo wewe huwezi save kivyako bila vikundi, unaona hakuna discipline ukisave kivyako?
No, ninaweza save kivyangu, that way nimekuambia nina save pia na KCB bank. That way wananipea loan through kupitia app yao ya KCB. Yes.
Na wakati ambapo tunazungumzia swala la discipline, labda tuelezee kwa siku, umesema kuna mahali ambapo unatoa 500 kwa siku. Kazi yako inakupa hiyo 500 kwa siku?
Ni kujinyima. Kazi pia imerudi chini lakini tunajinyima. Tunajaribu at least kwa siku minimum amount you can get is 1000. So unajaribu igawanye, ulipe kikundi, utafute ya kuweka mafuta na utafute ya kupelekea familia nyumbani kidogo.
Na kusave na kusaidia, imekusaidia vipi?
Pakubwa sana, sababu kama hii yenye huwa na save kila siku shilingi 500 inanisaidia kulipa rent na kufanya shopping kwa nyumba. So unaponunua vitu na kiwango kikubwa kwa nyumba, hautakuwa na mahitaji sana. So utakuta labda ni mboga tu ama maziwa. So unakuta pia ile budget ya nyumba umeikata kama 70%.
Labda kwa mwezi kwenye kazi yako ambayo ni ya bodaboda unapata kama pesa ngapi na unagawanya vipi?
Mtu wa bodaboda ule amezoea kazi yake kwanza, hawezi taka kuajiriwa. Na hao wenye wamenyongwa payslip hawana kitu. Mtu wa bodaboda ako sawa. Ukiweza jipanga mzuri, mtu wa bodaboda hawezi kosa between 15 to 30k
kwa mwezi.
Yeah, kulingana na mipangilio yake. Hawezi kosa between.
Utatumia ngapi hivi kwa
maximum can be 30 or over. Yeah.
Ukipata hizo unaweza kugawa ngapi kwa, unajua kuna mahitaji ya kila siku. Na labda unajuaje zipi za kuweza
kugawanya ni rahisi. Nimekuambia kama ya shilingi 500. Inanisaidia kulipa mwenye nyumba na kufanya shopping ya familia. So nakuta jioni hata nikienda na shilingi 100 haitanisumbua sababu labda ni maziwa tu ndio hakuna ama mkate. Lakini unakuta shopping sasa unakuta kama unga, mafuta, sukari umenunua ile itakusukuma mwezi mzima. Si unaona umejipanga? Unajua maisha ni kujipanga tu.
Lakini wewe uko na plan sana. Tusikie mwingine yeye ana save vipi. Bwana mkuu, nieleze wewe ukiwa mwana bodaboda una save vipi na labda kwa siku unapata pesa ngapi?
Okay, mimi naitwa Joseph Dennis. Ama pastor online kwa bodaboda. Yes, so niko na kikundi karibu 3. Moja inaitwa Alakara ambayo kila Saturday saa 8 tuna save 600. 500 ya savings na 100 ya table banking. Then again tuliform nyingine tulipoanza Januari hii ambayo inaitwa Onsaku. Online saving culture. Hiyo tumeongea na watu wa bodaboda ili kwa wenye wako na pikipiki wakaweza kununua pikipiki kwa njia rahisi, kwa sababu tuko na Discovery Sacco ambayo itasaidia bila kuchukua vitu zetu. So tuna save 100 ama 50 ama 200. Hiyo sasa ni kulingana na uwezo wa mtu. Na currently tuko watu 12 lakini others are still joining.
Kwa hivyo wewe una prefer kusave kwa kikundi kuliko kusave kivyako?
Kivyangu mimi sitaweza. Kivyangu sitaweza kwa sababu I don't have that culture. But when we are a team, we move together. Hata kama uja save, unasikia wow, the previous day I did not save. So I have to do something such that we move together. Yes.
Unajuaje labda kugawanya wakati ambapo kwa siku utatuambia unapata pesa ngapi? Unagawanya ngapi kwenda kwa savings, ngapi kwenda kwa mahitaji yako ya kawaida?
Mahitaji yangu ya kawaida naweza tumia 500
kwa siku.
Kwa siku. Ndio. Yes. Lakini saving vile nimeweka ni 100, minimum 100.
Kwa siku.
So it depend with how much am I going to get that day. But minimum in the saving is 100. Yes.
Would you recommend saving? Wewe utasema mfumo wa kuweza kusave pesa uko sawa?
Mfumo wa kuweza kusave pesa as in bank.
Unajua kuna wale ambao wanasema yeye haezi save pesa maana labda hana hata kipato chake ni cha chini. Utasema vipi kwa yule mtu?
Mwenye anaweza sema ati hawezi save pesa kwa sababu kipato chake ni ya chini. Hata hiyo ya chini mtu anaanza nayo hata kama ni kidogo. Si lazima uanzie kubwa kwa sababu ukingoja itakuwa kubwa haitakuwa pengine. Lakini ukianzia hii kidogo unajipanga na hiyo kidogo ukienda pale kubwa. Yes.
Wewe uta recommend group saving ama ile individual saving?
What I recommend mtu ajiangalie. Kila mtu anajijua. So a group saving is also important and also personal saving is also important. So mtu ajiangalie ajione kama siwezi fanya kwa sababu what is happening if you don't have the culture, that's where the problem is. But if you have the culture you can do it. But if you don't have the culture you join those who have the culture, then they instill that culture in you. Yes.
Stan, watu wamejipanga hapa lakini nisikie kidogo tu Bwana Mwanda, wewe utapendekeza group saving ama individual saving?
Ujumbe wangu kwa watu wa bodaboda, ninaomba save tu na all means you can save. Lakini group saving ni mzuri sababu zile sheria zinakulazimu uwe una save. Unajua wewe mwenyewe kujisavia inaweza kuwa ngumu. Leo unaweza save, wacha leo nisisave, ta save kesho. So at least group saving ni mzuri sababu ya zile sheria na wanakuhimiza kila wakati mnapokutana uweze kusave. Na ukumbuke ujumbe wa president alisema kwamba we have a problem as the country, we don't have the culture of saving. So tafadhali tunahimizana kama watu bodaboda watu waweze kusave. Na pia mimi vikundi zangu sako inaitwa Access Rider Sako, tulianza 2019. Niko na group nyingine inaitwa Upendo Family, hiyo tulianza 2 years ago. Na niko na nyingine inaitwa Paramount Bodaboda, pia tumekuwa nayo kwa miaka 3. Na hii kwanza ya Paramount ni mzuri sababu Kila December tunapewa dividends. Kama the last December tulipewa shilingi 10,000 dividends ambayo imetokana na zile interest ya loan zile tumepeana. So my message to all bodaboda, let us save. Whichever way you can save it.
Kwa uta prefer group saving ama individual?
Mimi ningetaka kueleza wana bodaboda wakuwe tu kwa vikundi. Unajua mkiwa kwa kikundi mkifanya kitu inakuwa umoja ni nguvu. Sasa mkiwa kwa kikundi ni poa juu utapata pesa zenyu hata kama ni ndogo mnasaidiana. Zinakuja pamoja mnaweza kufanya kitu. So kikundi iko sawa.
Nyinyi mko sawa sana. Therefore, Stan, those are boda riders here in Nakuru, but of course they really have plan. As you can see, they have of course come up with circles that they save from there, but also understand that something I've picked from them is that this particular thing, that is the savings really requires that you be very sincere, you be very disciplined, you be very consistent in what you are doing. But of course, if bodas can do that, why not everyone? Of course, coming up with this particular culture of ensuring that the little you get, you of course divide, you use, and the rest you use for saving. That is all from Nakuru County. Over to you, Stan. My name is Chichi Josephine.
Asante sana Chichi Josephine, as well as Eliud Karanja huko County 032. Now in the whole tail end of this particular conversation, that even the gentleman there, Mr. Oboda anasema, this is something that even the president and the whole government was saying, tuko na shida ya kusave. So now from both of you, from the remaining about 10 minutes, I want to get into the whole tips. Because I mean, now you had written them here, whole savings, nini, and this is what they were talking about. Group savings, nini, chama. If I really want to get into, a group saving, for example, the hypothetical ule John Tiwetu, wa Gikosh, ule mso Mkureni, mso Mayai, you want to get into a group saving. What should you be looking out for so that you actually make sure that by force, by fire, lazima bedhe utoe, kama ni 50 bob, kama mnatoa weekly, daily, monthly?
Objective. People come together because of a common objective. And these are people that you will be able to work with on, and also there is, I can call them synergies in terms of how you are helping each other. It's about a common objective of where you're going. As you can see from the boda guys from Nakuru, they're coming together because they come from, I think they said they're from Shabab, so it's like a common place, not the entire Nakuru area. And then they said one of the things that has ensured that they can get the culture of saving is the rules they have set for themselves, that they are going to meet this rule every day. The other thing also that one has to watch out for is also the leadership, in terms of how the regulation, and also in terms of, there is a lot of constitution. Once a group is being incorporated, there are a lot of rules. One of it is constitution, the things that you have put down to say that this is what you guys will be doing, and following that to the letter. That ensures that the money and the contributions that have been done on a daily basis, and especially the safeguarding of money, which is normally the biggest problem, that money is safeguarded and it's used for in the intended role. And also the leadership, because who is leading you? Are they abiding? Are they taking you to the right direction? Those are the things to check out. And also, are you benefiting as a person?
Right.
Yeah.
And this now for both of you. Kuna the whole formal kind of way of saving. Kuna the whole, circles that even banks really have, and circles, that have been registered. Alafu sasa kuna zile informal, zile chama za mnashikana watu wawili watatu. Which ones are safer from both of you? I'll start with you.
From my end, according to the laws, the registered ones are safer. But in practical, where you come from?
Ile vitu
kwa ground is different. Because hapa hivi tunaangalia huyu msee anaka kitu, so wanakaa pamoja jamaa. Hapa hivi tunaweza cheza mboka moja, mbili, tatu, tukapiga steps. Kumbuka kwa ground kuna chama mpaka ya food. Wase wanapiga hesabu wanaona manzi hapa ni noma. Wacha mimi ni save vichwa ni chwani. End month napata mdema yangu ya month. Anadungwa unga kadhaa, anadungwa shuge, anadungwa mafuta, anadungwa, yani hiyo ni hesabu yake imejaa, na hizo vitu zinaenda kununuliwa company price.
So
ulipo wholesale. So ukienda kununua company price, wananunua in bulk.
That means per day haanze kufikiria.
Anapiga hesabu yake each one, anapiga hesabu yake each one. Sasa kuna family, ana watoto watatu, anajua each one na save 1500. Lakini ikifika wakienda kununua wako mtu kama so, hiyo doa imeichanga wanaenda kununua kwa kampuni.
All the thought, tuende Gilbert Kongware. Habari asubuhi, and asante sana for calling us this morning. Gilbert Simiu, maoni yako ni gani?
Yes, 47. I think nimekuwa hapo na mjadala huo very very productive to me.
Okay.
Because kitu imefanya nikasema nirudi. Nimeochi hizo conversations zilitoka Nakuru. Kwa hao mabodaboda. But to me nilikuwa nimesema awali I'm employed.
Yeah.
But to me what I did to save, I decided to channel pesa yangu from the company where I save that I cannot withdraw for the future.
Okay.
Now saving, it does not matter that you save 1,000 or you save 20,000. Utapata wapi pesa utasave 20,000 or 10,000? Vile bodaboda wamesema lazima uwe na culture, but it is good kama ni bodaboda ama kama ni any institution kuwa kwa kikundi. Itakupatia hiyo msukumo.
Okay.
Because immediately pesa wakati itaingia kwa mkono na vile economy imekuja terrible hivi, utashtukia even if you are getting like 15,000 as your salary,
right,
utapata imeisha. That's why mimi nilidecide as an employee, kuna pesa fulani nilitenga kampuni ikate na iende mahali siwezi kutoa until my retirement. Even if I'll die, watoto wangu watatoa. So hivyo ndio mimi na save. So nimefurahia sana na hao mabodaboda wakisema wana invite wengine wajiunge pamoja kama kikundi so that wawe na hiyo culture. Unajua tuna wengine wana culture.
Ukweli.
So wakikuja pamoja ama mtu yote anasikia hii conversation, don't do alone. Just do as a company, so itakuwa rahisi, itakupatia hiyo msukumo na wewe pia utaadapt, then you will pick and go like that.
Asante sana.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Gilbert kutoka Kangore there. And he brings up the whole stark difference here, how people from the white collar sector will actually save as compared to those from the blue collar and the whole informal. Chipping into this, swali nilikuwa nimemuuliza earlier. Which one, as much as kuna ile practically me by at the end of the day nitapata, let's say kama ni punch nini per week and all that, upige hesabu yote unaangalia nianze tena kuingia sako, haita make sense nini, the whole practicality of it. Will it be safe and will you advise mtu waingize kwa hizo machama?
Umoja ni nguvu, tuanze hapo. Lakini huwezi enda kuanza kuingia kwa chama kwa watu wenye hawajui at the expense ya watu wenye unaanza na nao. You have to start somewhere. So start with the people that you are with and the people you are working towards a similar objective. Kama ni objective ya food,
right,
you work towards that. Kama ni ya maybe stock, you work with the people who are looking for stock. And also one of the things that is also in business circles or in areas that people work within is also trust level. For example, trust level is saying that, for example, me and you go to look for where Tinega works, we will go and find him that is there. And that way we are assured of trust, that if we come together, then we can be able to work together because we have level of trust. So are the people you are working with can they be trusted? So you work with such people.
Right.
And also these things are incremental. We've seen some of the people who have moved to SACCOs and then they can move to other larger institutions like banks, So it's very incremental. Yeah. Okay. The most important thing is that you are growing every day, you are growing, or you are working towards growth. But bottom line, I think one of the biggest bottom line, because we do not have a culture of saving. The bottom line is discipline. Yeah. Deciding, being intentional that you can be putting something aside every day,
right,
and for the things that you do.
Right.
I've seen people do that and they grow. Because when you're not intentional, then you're not going back to your personal plan, saying that this is how I said I'll do it. And if you're deviating to what you said you will do, then you're not achieving the objective that you set out to do.
Right. I think we have about 2 or 3 minutes
when we talk of culture,
for our business class here to Ishe. So for the remaining minutes, your final thoughts, both of you.
Okay, when you talk of culture, but we don't have a culture. This one is, from my perspective, I'll put it to the regime. What is it doing towards, we've been having, all through we've been having malipo ya uzeeni. How is it doing? That one gives you a question mark. Because you see what the nation, the so-called the government is doing on that malipo ya uzeeni. How many people wamefanya kazi, imekuwa ikikatwa. Somebody amesit comfortably akisema, hii mshahara yangu najua inakuwa inapelekwa mahali kwa malipo ya uzeeni. But at the end of the day, ukishatoka kwa job, to get that money is like a dream. Now, let me get to a finishing tips. I will urge my brothers and sisters, wherever they are, whether in business or employed, non-employed, whichever hustle you do. The reason why we are struggling a lot is because we've given our shambas. It's like when we see shambas, we only see where to build a house. We see where to build a plot. We see where you can we get back to agriculture? Can we have our own food security? Because food in Kenya is like now, is like we are looking for gold. If you go to buy sukuma wiki, the price is high because it is being imported. Tomatoes are being imported. We have huge acres of land that is unutilized. Each one of us akona background, akona ushago yake. Why don't you go and do a small farming? Hapo tu. Ukipata kama indikako, ukikuja hapa ukisiaga, umereduce ile cost ya kununua unga pesa mingi. Utasikia mtu akipiga kelele eti unga umepandisha. Wewe pandisha kama unataka. But mimi niko na yangu kwa shamba. Mimi niko na yangu kwa shamba. Let us get back.
Okay.
Where our forefathers left us, tuingie kwa hiyo shamba. Hii maneno mingi ya kusema eti tuko digital ni kwa simu. Lakini kwa tumba ina digital.
Tuchukue jembe turudi.
Chukua jembe, lima kashamba yako kadogo. It doesn't matter the size of the shamba. You can do something we call sacks farming. Nachukua hizi gunia kidogo, unaweka mchanga ama
pale kwa bedsitter ukiwa hapo mahali.
Yes, have something.
Kwa balcony.
Umeenda hustle imeruka, sawa, uko na unga, hauna mboga. Utachuma matawi 2, uweke kwa sufuria, uchemshe na upige na sembe yako na story reduce that cost. Because trust you me, economy hapa nje ni noma. Hata kama uko na pesa ngapi, inarudi chini. Wale vijana wako mtaani wenye wanadai hawana kitu ya kufanya. Kunyongana si solution. Kuwateki mtaani si solution. Kuja huku kwa soko, acha kukaa tu idle. Kama kwa soko, juu utaka idle utajinyonga, utaingia kwa BNB, utachinjwa, unajua. Kama kwa soko kuko na ka smartphone kako, kuja kwa duka zetu tutakupatia ruhusa, chukua jacket, piga picha nini, just get the people, the contact you have, make them to be your capital.
Right. Your final thoughts in a few before we cross over to Kisii County.
I think my final views are opportunities are there. So it's upon each one of us to take those opportunities, and it doesn't mean that they start very high. They start at the lowest, but you grow with time. And as you grow with time, you increase your top line, and you will be able to be comfortable, and as long as you incorporate the right discipline, do what is needed.
Right. Asanteni sana. I've learned a lot in this whole business class. I think this is my first ever, business class. I was trying to kuihepa kabisa. Tinega Damason, Chair, the Combat Traders Association, as well as Ruth Kinyanjui, an economist, as well as an economic advisor and a business advisor. Asanteni sana. And back at home, you've learned a lot. Kwanza kwa hizo tips. Make sure that you have that particular saving culture. Ndio kani 10 bob per day, utakuwa tu sawa. Let's go over to Kisii. Alfayo Kombo, good morning. What do you have for us today?
Thank you, Stanley Nyaringita. As you see, I'm here at Getembe Church, where different apostle leaders of apostle or Pentecostal churches leaders are here at Getembe Church, congregating and having a clergy meeting with His Excellency the Pastor Dr. Dorcas Rigathi Gachagua here at this church. And at the moment, as we are talking, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi Gachagua has just arrived at this Getembe Apostolic Church, and is having a praise and worship moment with the members of the clergy right now at 9 here at Kisii County, whereby today is going to have a long day here in Kisii County, where he'll be after this meeting with the clergy, members of the clergy, he will later go on launching a 2-day medical camp that is targeting majorly the matatu sector, whereby it will be the drivers, the touts, and those who are working within the matatu area, so that they're able to go there, be checked different diseases. And later on in the day, he'll be visiting Kisii University, whereby he'll be doing his project, where that is a boy-child prevention program against alcohol and drug substance. This is a program that is running out throughout the country, so that he may be able to ensure that the boy-child should not be indulging in drug abuse and substance. This is a program that will be here in 2 days, and later tomorrow, Dr. Rigathi Gachagua will be at Kisii High School, where I'll be meeting different students from boys' schools in order to ensure that this program of drug abuse and substance, they'll be having training over different things. This is an exercise that we'll be expecting to cover today, and you, our viewers of TV47, will be bringing you up to speed in each and every order of event. And something else that I'll bringing you up to mind is that today His Excellency Governor Simbarati will be meeting the CHV, the community health promoters, at the Gusii Stadium, where he has his offices, and also at the Gusii Stadium he'll be also giving out to the CHPs the kit promoters that will be helping them or enabling them to conduct their services out clearly and very well. So with me here as my camera person can be able to show us is at the Getembe Church, where the praise and worship commitments are on, and the different leaders have already arrived. That is the area MP, that is Zahir Chanda, who is Nyaribad Church MP. The women rep will be also here to be able to foresee this launching of this 2-day medical camp. I don't have much more to say, but only to pass the mantle back to you in studio, Stanley Nyaringita.
Right, asante sana Alfayo Kumbo from Kisii. You'll be getting that particular update later on in our subsequent bulletins. But right now, do have Sheila Chelengat just to tell us what to expect in our subsequent bulletins. Later on, I had read you the whole news diary, what to expect today in EACC. The MP, Mumias East MP, Peter Salasia, will be recording a statement of what happened last week. You can begin with that. What do we expect on this? And good morning to you.
Good morning, Stanley. That was a little bit fast, like right on the job. So we will be expecting him to face the EACC on matters, he last week was engaged in some of, let's say, assaulting issues. He assaulted MCA Peter Indimuli last week, and so he's expected to record a statement on what transpired. Yes, because, it has really caused public outrage on his conduct as a member of parliament, because these are happenings that did take place in public, and so everyone is wondering what is the conduct of a member of parliament, and the person who was assaulted, wanting justice and all that. Yes.
But as you always rightfully put it, the whole allegations towards it, allegedly.
Yes.
What else should we be expecting from the newsroom?
The murder probe, Orita Waini Mwendo. Yesterday detectives found her head, and this is a matter that now is in court because we have 2 suspects in court, Nigerian suspects, who were apparently found with suspicious items that could, be related with what the killer had. The murderer or the perpetrator is still at large because it looks like he knew what he was doing, according to even the pathologist. You see that he said that some of her fingernails were clipped, meaning that some of the evidence, might really have been, the perpetrator was trying to hide some of the evidence that, might have embedded themselves in her nails and on her body. And so the search is still on, and we will be expecting to have this matter mentioned on the 31st of January this year. But as of now, we are still awaiting for further analysis because some of her samples were taken to the government chemist. So we are waiting for further analysis. For instance, the toxicology report, it was mentioned that she could have been drugged before the heinous act was performed. And so we are looking forward to see what are some of these reports probably shed light on some of the last moments of Rita Waini Mwendo.
When should we be expecting the results of this?
The post-mortem was held last week on Friday, and it's probably 2 to 3 working days. So within this week, we will be looking forward to have some of the reports.
Right.
Yes.
Anything else?
Apart from that, the talks by Ruto and Koome, the President William Ruto and her ladyship Chief Justice Martha Koome is expected to generate some of, reactions from people, because we just saw yesterday that LSK as well as the opposition leaders were opposed to the meeting. The meeting between the President and the Chief Justice did not really augur well with some members of the opposition because they feel like it will interfere with the independence of these institutions. And so we will be looking forward to some of the reactions from members of parliament, from even leaders across the Kenyan landscape, the political landscape, on what they will say, on what their thoughts are on this dialogue. Will this dialogue, dent the public confidence in some of these institutions?
Right.
So it is a matter that we're really following up on.
And mostly when we talk about the whole increasing the budget so that they can actually fight graft. Now, questions linger. Will this particular budget, now solely on the judiciary, should it also, reflect on the police because they largely are, part of this particular wheel of matters fighting the graft, and even other, other systems that are embedded here.
Stanley, before the talks, the President had hinted on corruption in this institution. And after yesterday's press statement, we really did not get a precise, mention of how they're willing to deal with these matters. So then it leaves a lot in question because most of the resolutions were quite general, if you would put it as that. Mm-hmm. So truly, we're looking forward to see were these matters addressed, or was it a storm that was just quelled? Yes.
All right. And away from matters, the whole executive judiciary impasse, this particular we could also expect to see matters party politics, including ODMs camping in the coastal region.
Yes, party politics is playing a lot is happening in terms of party politics. We look at the opposition party, ODM, has really camped in several areas in the country. This week, particularly, they will be in the coast. We've had a lot of defections in this party. And, what about the unity of the ODM party as a whole? Because I'm sure it's already something they're looking into, the next year's general elections. And so they're trying to have, to present sort of a unified front, and so to ensure that the party conducts its grassroots primaries and recruitment drive on time before then. So this week a lot is happening in that front.
Right.
Yes.
Anything else to anticipate on before niite Fred tumalize siku?
Labda to anticipate on sports, AFCON.
Right, I think now Fred, as I tukimkaribisha, yesterday also we did see a draw for Cape Verde and Cape Verde as well as Egypt. There's also Ghana was playing, and because Fred is here to unpack to unpack the games for yesterday. What to anticipate today?
It's very interesting that some of the big teams like Cameroon, teams like Ghana, teams like Ivory Coast, the hosts, their position at the continuing tournament is currently threatened. They may survive. There's still a chance, but ngumu. Hali si hali. The same way they're saying that kwa taifa leo hali si hali pale AFCON mambo ni ngumu pia. But looking at the games, the fixtures tonight at 8 p.m. Cameroon will be facing Gambia. There's a chance if they win this game. There's a slight chance, a slight one. You never know. Guinea versus Senegal. Senegal is doing very well at 8 p.m. as well. Angola versus Burkina Faso at 11 p.m. The other late game is Mauritania versus Algeria. Algeria's position is also threatened. So big teams in Africa, the footballing giants. Algeria, Ghana, Cameroon, Ivory Coast. There's a high chance. There's a very high... No, Senegal is doing very well.
Okay. Yeah,
there's a high chance that those 4 teams may not make it beyond this phase, but there's still an opportunity. So probably by the end of this knockout phase, after all the teams are done with their group matches, it will be keen to see how many will have automatically qualified, because there's an opportunity for other best performers in each group. The first 2 definitely qualify, but the ones that come number 3, there's an opportunity for them, the best third in every group, 4 of them may qualify.
Sheila, you had you're still putting your money.
My director is calling the best loser.
Have you rescinded that?
The best third performer, not best loser.
That was quick. No, my money is not now on Tanzania.
Wow. Umewaruka hivyo haraka?
Sijawaruka. Hali si hali.
Umeshusha nyavu haraka.
It's hali si hali moment. But they have tried, really. I feel it's a plus for them, being that they were even in the whole AFCON. It's really a plus for them because they're representing the whole East Africa. Maybe now we have to bet on Senegal. Yes?
Oh, yes. Senegal looks like a nice contender.
Yes.
Nice contender.
And I feel, Fred, you should now give up on Ivory Coast.
Not yet. As I said, there's still a slight chance.
It's about time.
There's still there's a slight chance. You never back here. Score 7 goals. Anyway, this is where we wrap it up for this edition of Morning Cafe.
Oh, yes.
It's been a very informative session. Yes, on saving especially. If you've not been saving, hali si hali.
Hali si hali.
Hali si hali, and you remember what they were saying about 73% of Kenyans saying that they are broke. There's a way you can actually remedy that. If you try saving as early as now, even 50 bob a day. If at all you're earning daily wages. For those on salary, save something.
Yeah.
I think discipline and how you choose to save could just change the trajectory for you.
Oh, yes. It's been a terrific Tuesday.